You are here just north of what is easily one of, if not the ugliest intersection in all of the city of Toronto. And hey there, it is Friday, December 6th. The time is 3:54 p.m. and the temperature is around -1 degree Celsius. I'm here just across the street from Dundas West Station. And we are just north of the intersection of Dundas Street and Bloor Street. One of two places in the city where Dundas and Bloor intersect. And in this one, I'm going to be heading south and going for a walk through Roncesvalles, or Roncesvalles, as some might call it. I would describe this as the ugliest intersection, at least off the top of my head, in the city. If you know of one that's uglier, let me know down in the comments. And I'll show you a bit why that is in a moment. And on the northwest corner, we have the Giraffe Building. That was formerly home to a bar and grill called Joe Mercury's. That closed down sometime around 2009, then a few different businesses moved in. And it was painted with that giraffe-like facade sometime around 2011, and it was to turn into condos, but that plan didn't come into fruition. And just behind me are the Crossways, not a particularly good-looking apartment complex. And these were built in 1974. And there's retail and offices on the base, and you also have a GO train and Up Express station just behind it. Let's cross over. Get a closer look at the Giraffe Building. It's actually kind of funky. I think it's vacant. And I think there are still developers working on redeveloping it. But the holy grail of ugly buildings in the city is right across the street there. I couldn't find any information on this. But it features retail on the main floor, a few floors of offices, and then for some reason there's an apartment building slapped on top. I think to call it hideous would be an understatement. And then over there, the rather ordinary Bishop Morocco and Thomas Merton Catholic Secondary School, not really contributing to the ugliness of the intersection. That's a Catholic high school that dates back to 1968, and it features two different names, as at some point, I think in the 80s, two schools merged together, and they just kind of kept both names. The cold, kind of grim weather not doing this intersection any favors. There's another look at a building called Bloor Dundas Square. And that's about as ugly as buildings get. Looks like 4 floors of office. And a few apartments slapped on top. as we go south down Dundas Street West. Yes, that is south down Dundas Street West. Just north of Bloor, it starts to curve westbound and it runs parallel to Bloor Street, and then in Etobicoke around Kipling, it ducks south again and it intersects with Bloor Street. And we're heading into the Roncesvalles neighborhood. We'll see some 504 and 505 streetcars go by. There's an excellent Korean fried chicken restaurant, The Fry. And I've made a purchase from that plant store before. It's a great spot. As I slide a glove onto my left hand. So the plan is to walk south through Roncesvalles as you hear the crunching of salt under my shoes. And then I think I'm going to do a live stream towards downtown. If you have any candidates for uglier intersections in Toronto, do let me know. They came from Roncesvalles. And here's where Dundas Street bends to the left, and it once again becomes east-westbound. And the reason for that is Dundas is actually a collection of much smaller streets that have been stitched together, all falling under the Dundas name. You could go straight here and head into Little Portugal. Walk I haven't done in a while, at least not this stretch of Dundas. Roncesvalles is located roughly south of Bloor Street and north of Queen to the south, where we're heading. There's a 504 King Street car going up to Dundas Bus Station. And I think around Lansdowne to the east. And High Park, which is just to the west of here, would be the east-west borders. There's a place for rent in there, viewit.ca/B7848. If you want to look that up. This area has a rich history. It was originally part of, I think, the Colonel Walter estate. And when he died in the 1870s, it was handed over to the city of Toronto. And it was subdivided into the village of Parkdale, which is just south of here, what is now Roncesvalles. A lot of these residential streets popped up, and the neighborhood really grew, past tense, dumbass, I think between 1900 and World War I. That's when most of the homes in the area sprung up. And just to the south of here, there was a large amusement park called the Sunnyside Amusement Park. And after World War II, the area had a strong Polish-Canadian population, and it's been known as a Polish enclave since then. There's Loons. One of these bars has a pretty cool backyard patio. I think that Timmy's is new over there. This is Howard Park Avenue.
I saw you guys walking down there.
So the Carlton streetcar terminates at the High Park Loop, just west of here. But we're in the thick of the busy retail stretch on Roncesvalles. Perhaps the most notable place here is the Revue Cinema, established back in 1912. It's opened and closed a number of times. It was built as a neighborhood cinema. And in the late 90s, a film society was formed to run the cinema. And recently, I don't know if it's that specific film society or the modern iteration of it, but there was a disagreement with the owner who threatened to pull the plug. And there was a big Save the Review campaign by a lot of locals and some politicians. And I think calmer heads prevailed. And the theater lives on. It's got a very diverse range of programming. I've always enjoyed walking through this neighborhood. The PP Poo Poo Man and the All Golden playing at the Hot Docks on November 28th. That was a few weeks back. And I think that movie is based on an incident in Toronto, or a series of incidents. And it did well at the International Film Festival here. So it's starting to get some local theatrical releases. I don't see too many Polish-specific businesses left in the area. Chocolateria. There's a classical music conservatory. I say that as we walk by Pollock's area rug gallery. It's interesting how on the east side you have a lot of retail. And on the west side, it's mostly homes and residential.
Like 5 times
There's a bookshop. It's definitely a fantastic neighborhood. It's not really a destination neighborhood. It's got fairly decent transit access. We are west of downtown. Christmas tree sales. And I think this place might be notable for being a tipless restaurant. This means the price shown on the menu is the full price outside of taxes. No tip or hospitality fee will be added to the end of your meal. I think every restaurant should be operating like that. CBC recently did a report on how out of control tipping is. Chicago European Bakery and Deli. It's an odd choice of name. And every year, I think in September, they hold a big Polish festival here. I was in Japan or Korea at the time. I missed it this year. It's held the same weekend as there's a Ukrainian festival on Bloor Street West. It's the St. Vincent de Paul Roman Catholic Church. Fermanagh Avenue to the left. I think I said that right. And Hyde Park Boulevard to the right. And as much praise as I want to heap on this neighborhood, it is very low density. And I think this used to be a fire hall. If not, I'm not sure what a story is behind it. Let me know if you know. This building on the right here. Hyde Park Garage. I don't actually think it was a fire hall, but looks like it might have been built as an auto body shop just off the main street. There's a very classic Toronto-looking house. That building there are the Parkview Mansions, right next to St. Vincent de Paul Catholic School. I like the interlocking brick sidewalk. Actually, I don't know if interlocking is the right word. Someone's doggo. And across the street, one of the original Carnegie libraries. There were a number of them built in the early 1900s. They were all spitting images of one another, but they've been renovated since. You'll find one in the Beaches, one up near St. Clair and Bathurst. There's another one in Weston. There's some vintage Roncesvalles. There's a fair bit of pedestrian traffic out. And I can't read that sign, nor can I remember what purpose that building serves. I remember looking that up before. It definitely serves the local Polish community. Oh, this Timmy's is gone. I wonder if that Timmy's we walked by north of here was where this one relocated to. Now this neighborhood is starting to bleed into Parkdale. Another colorful mural. So we're just a few blocks away from Queen Street, or I guess more correctly, Queen Street, the Queensway, and King Street West. I think that place is new.
Sorry? Yes, she said that you were fucking freezing.
Well, that was pleasant language to listen to. Gotta love it when drivers stop at the last second at a stop sign. That guy obviously wasn't sure if it was going to stop or not. And truthfully, the only reason the driver even did stop was because they saw me and the other guy crossing. There's a pedestrian bridge that goes over the Gardner Expressway that we're going to head down to. And that's where I'll wrap this one up and hopefully start my live stream from. St. Joseph's Hospital is just off in that direction. I can't really see it from here. There's what's definitely one of the most quote-unquote sketch McDonald's in the city. I've had a few interesting experiences in there. Just grabbing a bite after recording a video. I've also been to this Burrito Boys. And on the left here is the start of Queen Street West, and that'll lead you through the heart of Parkdale. This here is the start of King Street West, which for the most part runs parallel to Queen Street. And that cement mixer is turning west onto the Queensway. So it's an intersection where 4 different very major streets in the city collide. There's a 501 streetcar running east-west. That one's going all the way to Neville Park. That's in the Beaches neighborhood. The Beatty Boulevard Parquette. Oh man, it is windy. And the not yet frozen shores of Lake Ontario lie straight ahead. There's the rail corridor, which leads towards Exhibition and then Union Station. And westbound off to Suburbia, where it looks like there's some road crews doing work, or maybe an accident. Whoops. Really slowing things down. Going westbound. But on that note, I hope you enjoyed this one, starting at what I think is the ugliest intersection in the city, heading south through Roncesvalles to a freezing cold overpass just north of, whoa, my camera decided to take off there, just north of the shores of Lake Ontario. There's the Palais Royal straight ahead. But I think we're gonna end it here, so thank you for watching. There's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel. I forget if I already said all this. I am just gonna end it. Thanks for watching, guys. Yoink.